Hello, my name is Mady Mosaic.
And I'm Hugh Janvier, and welcome to a whole new season of WCTV. As you can see, everyone who thinks midterms are fun, and I think we can all agree, that's nobody. So, on October 10th, Last Minute Productions decided to do something about it. In the UC Grand Room, they set up some paintbrushes and basically just said, all right, have fun. Later, guys. As for a topic, hey, did I say a topic? Nope, they just wanted to relax for an hour or two. You know, I'm not a Picasso, but I think this is a magnificent way to just have a great time to relax, channel inner Bob Ross, and have some nice little trees, a nice little calming scene, happy times.
Students needing any resources such as laundry, internet services, or food can turn to Homebase Campus Ministry. Homebase works in collaboration with Western Carolina University and Baptist Children's Homes of North Carolina. Homebase provides support to students who are navigating life on their own. The hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays. Homebase is located at 82 Central Drive, Kye'l, North Carolina. This is on Western Carolina University's campus, next to the Kye'l Baptist Church. If you have any questions, please contact Homebase Director Dr. Jim Dean at 828-508-0035. We have one of our reporters, Nick Childs, here to talk about a story he has been working on for a while.
If you've been paying attention to campus recently, you may have noticed various flyers, flags, and chalking informing about Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as well as resources for survivors. Here's a story with more information. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which was launched in 1987 to connect and unite individuals impacted by domestic violence, as well as advocating for those issues. Domestic Violence Awareness Month also coincides with the Red Zone, which is the period when over 50% of sexual violence occurs on college campuses. This spans from move-in to Thanksgiving break. Wesley Myers, Executive Director of Center for Domestic Peace, said domestic violence is unfortunately going to happen, but there are resources to help address it. Some on-campus resources include Students Against Sexual Assault, Intercultural Affairs, CAPS, and UPD. There is also the Center for Domestic Peace, which is the largest resource for Jackson County. Center for Domestic Peace helps tackle domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking by education, advocacy, and ensuring that client needs are met. They educate throughout Jackson County by hosting tabling events, domestic violence panels, and Purple Out sports games, as well as educating about healthy relationships and green flags. They also work on court advocacy and housing in situations where individuals may need a safe house. Myers said it's important to celebrate green flags in a relationship. Hear from some fellow WCU members about what they consider a green flag.
I'm Robin Coburn, and I think the best green flag in a relationship is when you are able to share common interests without getting too absorbed. And I'm polyamorous, so jealousy is a huge red flag for me. The opposite of that is a word called compersion, where you're happy for your partner with their other partners. And that's a big deal for me too.
In a relationship, I consider communication a really big green flag. That's a really big deal for me, to know that you're able to talk to your partner and be able to understand each other.
I think the melding of love languages is one of the best things that can happen. You have to have similar interests to make a relationship work.
For WCTV, this has been Nick Childs.
That is a deep topic that doesn't get as much recognition it deserves. Western Carolina University held its annual career fair with an amazing turnout. Over 42 companies showed up to the event, bringing a huge wave of resources for students. WCU students had the opportunity to attend the career fair event in order to network, share their resumes, and ask questions about their future careers. The career fair is the best opportunity for students to step out of their comfort zones and get into their professional roles. Living in North Carolina mountains means we have a lot of history. Liam has a story highlighting a deeper topic about Native American boarding schools.
Thank you, Mady. And with that history also comes dark history. That is unfortunately what has gone on with Native American boarding schools. The Mountain Heritage Center is now hosting an exhibit that is nationally wide surrounding the Native American boarding schools. I was able to go to the exhibit. Here's what I found out.
Center's new national exhibit, Away from Home, explores the truth of Native American boarding schools. Pam Meister is the Mountain Heritage Center's director.
These schools were actually created as a way to sever Native Americans from their culture.
These boarding schools were established by the U.S. government in the late 19th century as an effort to assimilate the indigenous youth into mainstream American culture. When the children first arrived at these schools, they were often separated from their brothers and sisters, and with them, separated from their culture.
The slogan, actually, of the first boarding school operator, Colonel Richard Pratt, was "Kill the Indian, save the man."
Meister explains that when you're cut off from everything you know, you begin to lose your identity.
When you're cut off from that philosophy, from that worldview that you've had from childhood, and you're forced to learn this other language and to think in this other way in order to survive, you've got this major disconnect. And this disconnect stays not just with you, but with your children.
Unlike normal schools, these children were unable to go home to their families. In many cases, students weren't reunited with their families until 10 years after being taken away from them. Instead of going home, during the summer months the children worked as servants for local families. Though times weren't much better during the school year.
They were living on hardly anything. They would be pulled out of their dorms at 6 o'clock in the morning. They had to do military drills, they had to study, and they had to do manual labor.
Meister hopes that this exhibit shows people the atrocities that these Native Americans had to go through so that events such as these never happen again.
I think it's important for everyone to know about these schools, just because this is such an inequity and it's such a cruel thing to do. And to do this sort of cultural eradication to the youngest and most vulnerable populations.
The exhibit will remain at the Mountain Heritage Center until October 20th. For WCTV, I'm Liam Bridgeman.
On October 4th, it's time to play a game. I do the slogan, but, you know, copyright. Ah, what the heck, I'll do it anyway. It's time to play Family Feud! Back during the summer, a survey with various music-based questions was sent out. Months later, it's finally time to put them to use in the UC Grand Room. With fun prizes and music for everyone, the only thing missing is our dearly beloved host, Dr. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Hey, can we edit that out? No. What do you mean we can't edit that out? Whatever, fine, whatever. Next segment. Dana Patterson worked for WCU's Intercultural Affairs, putting student success first. Our reporter, Nick Childs, has more on the story.
For the past 5 years, Dr. Patterson has been a ray of sunshine on WCU's campus. She's accepted a new position at Wingate starting October 3rd. While we're sad to see her go, this story's for you, Dr. P. If you've ever visited Intercultural Affairs at WCU, you've likely received a warm welcoming from its former director, Dr. Dana M. Patterson. Dr. Patterson has accepted a new position as Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer at Wingate, bringing her time as a catamount to a close, but she's still taking her experiences at WCU with her. Dr. P has served as the ICA Director for the past 5 years, putting student success at the center of everything she's done.
Universities measure student success just purely looking at GPAs. But for us in Intercultural Affairs, we learned to recognize that student success meant how do they define their own success? Where do they want to be? And so then that measure of success may look different for every single student.
Dr. P wants to leave a legacy of kindness at WCU.
You know, I really want people to know that love is the most important thing that there is, and that it's free. You know, you don't have to pay for it, you know, and you can give somebody a smile and change their whole perspective. You can change their whole day with just a smile, with just being kind. And you never know how much that means to somebody.
Here's Mo Joyner talking about Dr. Patterson's impact to her.
She's so supportive, so sweet. She helped me through everything I need. She supported me through my major change, through just anything. I love her with all my heart. She has such an impact on ICA in general. The students love her. We love seeing her. We love talking to her. She's so personable. And so it's sad to see her go. Like, it feels like we're losing someone special, but at the same time, we're praying for her success. Like, we are so happy that she was granted this opportunity, something bigger and better, you know? So, like I say, even though it's sad, it's a great time for her, and we support it.
This has been Nick Childs, reporting for WCTV.
WCU's stage and screen production of Quilters has begun showing this weekend, and our reporters Jada and Veronica interviewed one of the actors to gain a better insight on the production.
I'm Veronica. We're here with a special guest, Lily Gaddis, who is a WCU stage and screen student, and she has a major in musical theater. And Lily will be performing this weekend in their production of Quilters. So, Lily, tell us a little bit about your show.
So Quilters is a show about the sisterhood, first and foremost. It's about essentially what I guess we would think of as like pioneer women, and it was about the time when everyone was traveling west. And so it talks about basically the hardships and the triumphs, just the stories of all of these women, the women of the West, essentially. Yeah, and it all kinds of things, you know, their journey, and then just their lives, really.
Yeah. Thank you. Working with her. What role do you play, and what do you like about it?
So the interesting thing about Quilters is everyone plays a whole bunch of different roles. I think overall I play 15 or 16 different roles. Because, yes, the women basically come on, they tell their story, they have their scene, and then they leave, and then you kind of turn around and come back on as a different character. And there are some, in the beginning, I'm the oldest daughter of Sarah, who's telling this story. And at the end, I come back on as that same character, but I play a whole bunch of different characters throughout. And they all have their own story. It's all, everybody's unique, and it's really cool to get to play all the different characters, because again, I think it's something that doesn't happen too often. And it's super neat in terms of, it's a challenge in the way that you have to leave and then turn around and come back on as a character who's so different. But it's fun. It's a good time. Yeah.
So what would you say are like the relevant themes of this musical? Why do you think it is an important story to tell?
Definitely the sisterhood and community. We had Claire, the director, her sister came in. She was a historian, and she told us all about the actual things that happened during this time period, and so much of what you hear in the play is true, like not direct quotes necessarily, but just something that so obviously happened, just with the history and everything. And so I think that a lot of it's still relevant, because even though some things are things of the past, like we're not traveling in wagons across the United States anymore.
Yeah.
But there are themes of like loss and love and such. There's a whole sequence where women are talking about their children and the children that they've lost and the children that they have. And there's just so many, I guess, overarching themes like that that are relevant to today, as well as the aspect of kind of community and coming together to overcome things, which you really see a lot in the second act, which I think is super important still. Yeah, even if it's not in the same way as it was back then. It was a nice change.
Well, that is so great.
Yes.
So what do you hope that the audience gains from viewing this production?
I hope that they both take away how far we've come, and also, I suppose, how far left we have to go. There are certain things in this play that I feel like shouldn't be as relevant as they still are today. And so I hope that the audience is able to recognize that. But I also hope that we're able to realize that we have come a long way, and that I think the biggest thing for me that this play stresses is that there will always be people you can fall back on. There is always a community. And in this case, it's the sisterhood and the women around you, but it doesn't always have to be that. But you always have a group of people there in your corner no matter what. And they can help you through anything. Yeah.
You
help to all of it. Yeah.
Well, Lily, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
guys. I had a good time.
And just to wrap it all up, you will be performing at the Village Green this weekend, correct?
Yes. So this Saturday and this Sunday in Cashers, we are performing at the Village Green, and there's one show at 7 or 7, I think it's 7:30 on a Saturday, and then there's a show at 5 on Sunday. Yeah, so you've got 2 more chances to see it.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Now, students and faculty who are wanting to see the show can go online to the Bardo Art Center website to purchase their tickets. Well, thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you.
Hi there, quick sports update. The Catamount football team, after a complete overhaul last year, is now 3-2, now 5th in the Southern Conference. Great work, guys. I also worked on a story highlighting the women's club rugby because their team numbers have grown exponentially. Here's my story.
My favorite aspect of rugby is just being able to have a free-for-all when it comes to a tackle. You just dive right on in and get them down.
Hard-hitting, fast as lightning, and tough as nails. The women's club rugby team is coming at you. This week, the team is preparing for their matchup at Lee University in Tennessee. Last year, the team only consisted of 3 players. Now, the team has grown to more than 10. Co-captain Leah Poissant is excited for this year's team.
I'm really looking forward to building a community out of this team. Our team is full of very diverse people who are from very different backgrounds of playing rugby and everything, and I'm really looking forward to seeing these girls grow and really create that bond that's going to last forever.
That bond is something that president of the club, Molly Batter, is hoping to grow. She hopes the team will not only be successful, but also resilient throughout the year.
Really want us to just be, at the end of the year, proud of what we accomplished. Even if we win or lose, I just want people to be proud that they found rugby and they pushed through it till the end.
Batter loves that rugby is for everyone, and her team is no different.
I love how accepting it is. I think a lot of people have a certain idea about sports, like I have to look like this, I have to be this build, but like rugby, you need all shapes and sizes, and it's a very welcoming community.
The team is always looking for more players, no matter the skill, no matter the experience level.
A lot of people don't know what to expect because, I mean, rugby isn't popular here. I'd say it's a mix of all sports, so I think you can always find something you're going to love about it.
For WCTV, I'm Liam Bridgeman.
The fall weather has come out. What do you think about it, Hugh?
Weather.
Weather?
Weather.
Weather.
It's weather! Weather! Caden, what's the weather?
Coming at you.
I'm Nick, not Caden. But, you know, we're at that time of the year again where it can be almost impossible to know how to dress. You wake up in the morning, put on as many layers as possible to brave the below 40-degree weather, And then by the time you get your bagel at Einstein, which is back open now, it's almost a heat stroke. So while it's difficult to try and dress knowing how finicky North Carolina is, I'm going to try my best to give you a little bit of heads up of what to expect. So this is going into Monday the 10th through Friday the 15th. Monday's looking to be mostly sunny, low of 39 degrees and a high of about 68. High 60s is about as good as it's going to get for the rest of the week. On Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty much the same thing, partly cloudy, lows of 40s, 41 to 45 respectively, and also highs of 69 degrees. Then on Thursday, we've got a little bit of a chance of storms. Again, high of 47 degrees, we're getting a little bit warmer, low of 47, high of 69. And then on Friday, it's expected to be sunny again, but it's color-y, so who knows how much that actually matters. But hopefully it'll be 42 degrees with a high of 62, so maybe don on a nice lightweight, medium weight jacket. Back to you guys at the desk for more.
The news for tonight. I'm Mady Mosaic.
And I'm Hugh Janvier. Later!